Hello, Professor Darden. This is my presentation, Crime Scene 4, from Areli, Joe, Carlos, Allison, and Paige. And we're going to show you the preview of our video. Just a side view of more photos that Joe took for our group, our photographer Joe. A frontal view of the victim, the male victim. As you can see, there's a bat. You can see a glove. And just a view from up top, just seeing what it is. And this was an important piece of our project, the blood-splattered garden seat. As you can see here, you could also notice a black tie at the bottom of it. And also a ripped glove on the side of the victim's body. Our sketch artist Paige, this is our initial sketch of the scene. 55 inches from the left foot to the left arm. Just the measurement of the chair, the blood splatter chair to the right foot. Vital measurements that we had to draw and depict. Chain of custody. Evidence 1. White powder obtained from the victim's right pocket. Areli obtained the evidence directly and handed our evidence to our photographer Joe, and transferred the package back to our evidence collector Areli for the white powder to be sealed in plastic packaging at 10:03 a.m. on April 21st, 2026. Second movement from that evidence, from photography to drugs to narcotics for research on April 21st, 2026. For evidence 2, the glove, which was yellowish cream color, was found inches away from the deceased victim's body. Areli obtained the evidence directly and packaged the glove in a paper package so it wouldn't sweat in heat. Ripped glove was packaged on 10:10 a.m. on April 21st, 2026 by our evidence collector Areli, who then moved evidence forward to photography. Our second movement of that piece of evidence, photography to DNA testing, and also package reopened for measurements on April 28, 2026 at 10:05 a.m. by our evidence collector. And our evidence number 3, black lace tie was located under the blood splattered chair. Areli obtained the evidence directly moving evidence forward to photography. And the second movement of that piece of evidence was from photography to DNA for analysis. Evidence collection 1. First piece of evidence collected was a plastic container with white powder. It was obtained in the victim's right pocket. Time collected was 10:04 a.m. on April 21st, 2026. Then after handed to photography. After photography, the powder was sent over to drug testing. It was packaged in a plastic bag. Evidence collection 2. Second piece of evidence is a yellow off-white glove torn, collected at 10:10 a.m. on April 21st, 2026. Glove is around 9.5 inches with a cut of 2.5 inches from the bottom of the glove to mid-glove. Evidence was collected about 32 inches from the victim's torso left side Evidence was placed in the paper bag in case it would sweat during the chain of custody. Evidence traveled to photography down to DNA testing. It was reopened on April 28, 2026 at 10:05 a.m. to take proper measurements of the glove. And evidence three, what seems to be a black shoelace is 66.5 feet long. It was collected under evidence number 4, found near victim's right foot. The shoelace was collected at 10:31 a.m. on April 21st, 2026. It was given from evidence collection to photography, then down to DNA testing. Evidence collection number 4. Evidence collection 4 is a white long chair with blood splatter on it. It was found near the right bottom side of the victim. Evidence collected at 10:16 a.m. on April 21st, 2026. It was about less than 3 feet tall, or about 34.5 inches, and about 22 inches wide from one armrest to the other. It was handed over to DNA and fingerprints. And as we see here, we have the blood splattered chair, and a little detail that I noticed on our first day of our crime scene analysis was that little speck of blood on the top right of side of the chair. And what we also noticed as a team, there was duct tape around like the armrest area, the left side armrest area of our blood splattered chair. And evidence number 5. Evidence 5 is a bat that was slightly cracked. Some blood was found on the top half of the bat. It was collected from the victim's left hand, taken at 10:26 a.m., April 21st, 2026. The bat is about 28 inches long and was sent to DNA. What needs to be analyzed? Evidence, the bloody white plastic chair. That being said, the bloody white plastic chair along with the wooden baseball bat needs to be sent to DNA and latent print labs to check for prints and test blood on both items, since they are both too big to fit any evidence bags. So the bloody white plastic chair and the wooden baseball bat. And for the white powder will be sent to drug analytics to test what the powder was. Left latex glove, black shoelace, the left latex glove and the black shoelace, which we collected for our evidence. We will send both to DNA and latent print labs for further examination of both. And what needs to be analyzed? The body has a 4-inch gash just above the brow bone. The legs are twisted. The wrist is supposedly broken. There are cuts and bruises all over the body. We would send the victim's body to the coroner's office for an autopsy of what really happened and what could have caused these injuries. As you can see, the left legs are twisted in an oddly way, which we take into account when we come forward to our conclusion later on. As you can see here, the right arm, it's twisted in the odd position, as you can see, the right arm. And here's the gash that we came to the conclusion that this was the victim of an attack, that this was a result of a baseball blunt force. And here are fragments of blood, little bits of blood. We believe that the victim may have dropped little bits of it. And who else is involved? The medical examiner, coroner's office, to determine when the victim has died and how. In this case, we look at the blunt force trauma. Latent print forensics to take closer look and examine if there are fingerprints on the bat and whose prints. DNA analytics. The glove could contain sweat, skin cells. The bat has blood on it, which can be tested and could have DNA from the attacker. The blood in the chair will tell us if more than one person is involved, and drug labs to test the white powder if it is drugs or what substance it could be. And speculate cause of death. Us together as a team, we came up with the conclusion that the cause of death we believe to have happened due to self-defense. We believe the victim had held someone against their will, and the defendant escaped and fought the victim. We believe the victim has beaten the defendant with a bat. We can see that because there's blood splatter on the victim's shirt. We believe the defendant kicked the victim's right leg to be able to escape, and then began to fight, which caused the victim to break his wrist. Once the victim's arm and leg were broken, the defendant used that advantage to take the bat and strike him in the skull right above the brow bone. We believe the other injuries that are on the victim were caused from constant beating to the defendant, meaning the tip of the finger that no longer attached. This is all speculation. This evidence is for the court, as we believe what could have happened. And we also believe that the powder in the pocket had correlation with the incident, and we would need testing for the powder, but believe it was some type of drug. And that's all for today. Thank you.